Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends, get your gaming goodness. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here at Viva La Dill, hashtag RTX on.
Wow, thank you. Also here, Kieran Marchant.
Happy to be here as well. Ash, why didn't you tag me in that? I wanted to be in the
I think everyone's tagged you, haven't they, Kieran?
No, well, Dylan tagged me. That's enough.
For anyone that doesn't know what we're on about, you want to go to the NVIDIA Australia Twitter account.
Sorry.
No, I think it's still going. You can tag all of us in the post to help us all win a custom Cyberpunk graphics card. Was it
You'll win
2070?
one as well.
2080? 2070?
I think it's a 2080, I think.
2080? Yeah.
No, it's a 2077.
No, fuck's sake.
It's not fucking... I literally thought about that for a second and then went, wait a minute.
He's done a bad pun.
He's done a fucking terrible pun.
Come on now. Today on the show, we're going to be asking a question. What the fuck does a Borderlands movie by Eli Roth look like? Another Star Wars game appears to have been cancelled. Animal Crossing scores some community points. And the Call of Duty Battle Royale appears to be confirmed. But first, let's go over this thing because I want to get everyone's thoughts on it because I feel like it's just like cut and dry to me, but apparently it's a conversational point on the internet. GamesIndustry.Biz writes, PlayStation and Facebook cancelled GDC appearances citing coronavirus concerns. I cannot say it as corona, even though I think it's corona. You say it differently. Anyway,
Yeah.
PlayStation and Facebook Gaming / Oculus will not be attending this year's Game Developer Conference due to concerns about the virus as it follows a series of cancelled or postponed video game events plus console manufacturing disruption caused by the outbreak. The virus has infected over 75,700 people so far, killing 2,130. Facebook says that it's still planning to make announcements at GDC around its Oculus business, but will now do that via digital formats with video online Q&As plus more. Saying out of concern for the health and safety of our employees, our dev partners in the GDC community, Facebook will not be attending this year's Game Developer Conference due to the ever-evolving public health risks. PlayStation has already pulled its planned appearances at PAX East next week, where it was expected to show playable code of The Last of Us 2, which of course upset everyone as well. So, to me, I thought all of this was pretty... Yeah. I mean, you're concerned about the health of your employees and whatever. Fair enough. But for some reason, everyone on the internet's like, I've seen a lot of people, even big name people, being like, well, they're overreacting. They should just still come, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. I'm like, this is a weird hill to die on. I think, like, surely, like, oh, I'm concerned, like, oh, we're concerned. Like, it's not that they think, because the thing that everyone has to remember, of course, with, I mean, I kind of get it. It's like these big events, people coming from all across the world, all across the country, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, that's going to slightly increase the chances of potentially bumping into someone who has something, right? If it's an event like this. So for these companies to be like, you know what? It may be like the slimmest of slim chances, but is it like worth the risk? And for the health people at the Facebook, Oculus, Sony, whoever, I think other companies have since announced, like even, I think Activision or someone I saw earlier say they're pulling back some of what they're going to show or something. Anyway, for all these people to be like, you know what? 1% chance, probably not worth it. Why risk the lives of anyone for this? To me, it's cut and dry, right? Is anyone... Ash, you're the hot taker. Are you on the opposite side of this one?
No, I mean, it seems ultra-conservative considering the very small amount of confirmed cases in the United States, which is a massive country. So I think there's like 15 across the whole entire country. So, but obviously they might have some sort of... Like, anytime you go to an airport, there's like...
Yeah, airport's a major problem.
Cross-contamination or whatever. Yeah, so if they don't want to risk it, I mean, I guess they don't need to be there. Maybe they're like got promotional stuff that's meant to have come from China and then they couldn't get it to come and that kind of thing. So I'm sure there might be a bunch of factors.
I think the airport's just the problem. I think the airport's just the issue. It's like everyone has to go through the airport. So,
yeah, I mean, if they...
But couldn't they then source people that don't need to go via the airport.
Road trip.
Potentially. I mean, it's like I don't want to call out a certain big name whose podcast I do listen to, but I was still just like, that's a hot take. But they were like, oh yeah, Sony is in San Francisco, right? But how do we know that everyone who would have been running the GDC or the PAX stuff for Sony, whatever it is, actually is working in said building there? And they wouldn't have been coming from a different place around the country because, in case you don't know, Sony is a global enterprise. You know? Like, why are we just assuming they've got people there that we're going to run it?
I think it's the thing is, right, I don't think it's not a decision that Sony would be taking lightly. I don't think it's something that, you know, it's actually doing something for its staff members, which in, you know, today's current climate is probably pretty good for once, where everybody's getting up in arms about crunch and, as we've discussed on the show, or people being treated unfairly or not given the proper human rights. And Sony's just taking one for the team and putting its staff members before its own interests. Because what you got to think about for Sony's perspective, especially in terms of the PlayStation, is by missing this event, this is another event they're missing to show or announce things to do with the PlayStation 5. Like, this is...
Man, they weren't going to announce anything about the PS5 there. They were going to show Last of Us, though, which was their big thing.
Yeah, like, they were going to show
playable Last of Us.
They were going to show things that, you know, that lead towards that and point towards that direction, at least. And I think, in many cases, that's a bad thing for Sony, because PlayStation's rapidly running out of events to unveil things and show things. If they... I could see them announcing that they're just going to do a stream of what they were going to show anyway, like, to make up for it, and I think that's completely fine. I think the only people then that will be annoyed will be people who are going directly to GDC to possibly either play Last of Us or to speak to developers directly. But I don't believe it's anything we're going to be missing out on. Anything they can announce there, they could do, like one of these like Nintendo Direct style things where they stream a showcase and people can watch it at their own free will.
State of play.
Yeah, like a state of... That's the one. I'm not on the PlayStation podcast, so I don't need to know that. But it's a case of how it plays through and how it plays out that I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I don't understand why people are annoyed or sending out these hot takes when, you know, I bet these same people are the ones protesting against Blizzard for the free Hong Kong stuff and that are taking a stand against companies that do crunch and everything like that. It just feels very weird.
I honestly, this is one of those ones where, like, I read the initial thing, like, oh, they're pulling out, they're not doing it, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. But then, like, when I start seeing all these people in their replies being like conspiracy theories, Sony pulled out to save money. Sony pulled out because Last of Us still isn't ready. You know, like Sony, you know, like all these things. I'm like, why can't it just be because they're just not wanting to take any risks for their staff, even if it's like the 0.1% or something? You know what I mean? So I'm like, what? I don't know. This thing. It's not a decision. Someone walked in one day and was like, shouldn't we just like cancel PAX? Nah. You know, like, nah, okay. Like, it's like they would have had like health people, whatever their department of health, I always say OH&S, health, whatever else. They've come in, they would have spoken to a bunch of people. They would have said, like, here's the dealio. There's only like 15 cases in America. But the fact is, if you're passing through airports, of course, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, like they would have talked about it. And eventually they were like, you know what? Chances are small, but maybe it's best that we just don't do it for now because...
And with
like,
it as well, it's probably not just like, from Sony's point of view. It's not just probably like, look, caring for your staff and your duty of care to them is very big. But if you want to be cynical about a business, they also have to look at what they're liable for if something does happen to their staff members.
Yeah.
And you know they've probably got lawyers and people advising them. Hey, this could possibly be something really bad if we went through with this.
Exactly. Like, it's not one person's like, let's cancel it. Right?
Yeah, like they would have done their own
due diligence
to be there. And also, how, like, for me, it's like, how does this save money? Doesn't this, in fact, possibly lose the money if they have had to, like, pay for anything towards being at GDC or organize flights for people or all that stuff that goes around organizing a trip and something of this scale? You would lose money on it. It's not like they were saving any money. It's
unless they get it all back. I don't know if they have insurance, business insurance. I don't know, but it's not like they would just cancel it to save money. It's in their business to show things to people.
Why would Sony, a massive multi-conglomerate, organization, will fucking... Why do they need to save... Like, how much money does it really save for them not to go to GDC?
Exactly. And, like, when it comes to the Facebook Oculus thing, so they're going to stream what they were going to show, apparently. They're going to do the stream event to reveal stuff. Presumably Oculus games and whatever else. And in that case in particular, it's like, okay, cool, at least we're still going to see it. But 100% they would have got better press if people were there to play the stuff because it's fucking VR. And you're going to get way better impressions from VR stuff when people actually get to try it. However, if I can guarantee the worst possible way to spread anything, it's by sticking your head in a VR headset. So it's disasters. Anyway, moving on. All right. Kieran's girl, Pokimane, over here.
Oh yeah, good old Pokey.
Jules Shockers writes, Pokimane donates $50,000 towards esports scholarships. Thought this one would make you happy, Kieran, towards the world. How do you say it? Pokimane Anise? Is it Anise or Anise?
Anise, yeah. Anise. Or Anis.
Anis? Okay.
Yeah.
Has donated $50,000 to the University of California, Irvine, to fund an annual scholarship for students in gaming and esports. For students dedicated to gaming and esports. The donation will sit in perpetuity for an investment account occurring 4 to 5% annually and shows one qualified student per year and an award, the Pokimane Scholarship, between $2,000 and $25,000. That would be, I don't know, what,
$2,500.
No, 4 to 5 Australian?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I don't know. UCI revealed that this was the first scholarship of its kind in the program's history. Pokimane announced that the donation in a press release stating, "I love being able to share my experiences of how I got to where I am today in the hopes they'll help others who are on the way. I'm also especially happy to be supporting UCI's esports program because their students are focusing on gaming in addition to pursuing their college degree, which I can say from experience isn't easy." Pokimane studied chemical engineering in college while she was simultaneously grew her Twitch and YouTube channels. She rose to fame as a content creator, streaming popular games such as Fortnite and League of Legends. Blah, 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 blah. I think this is cool. I think obviously
awesome.
We always hear about they're like trying to different schools and projects and whatever else trying to set up like sort of esportsy type scholarships, but plus also like a lunchtime practice esports type stuff in schools and whatever, like more interjecting of making it as like a possible career choice, of course, and this helps towards that, obviously. So it's like you see all the quote unquote normal sports, of course, in America. It's the number one played thing in all the football movies over there. Like you get the scholarship, you get by being the football pro, and you go off and you get the master's degree and you play the football at the same time. So it's like, okay, well, in a world where some esports games have bigger crowds and money pools than some of these other sports and whatever else, why can't we start building towards also getting the same sorts of stuff for people who want to play and get good at esports stuff, I guess. So, yeah. Anything else to say on it, Kieran?
I think it's really good to the extent that she gets to use what she's built up and the money she makes from Twitch to give back. Like, I really appreciate it especially when it's not just, it's fantastic when these streamers do charity streams where they get their viewers to donate and everything. But when they're striving to do things off their own back from their own success to help others, I think that's really a really good role model and a really good member in the community to look up to. And I think she found what she wanted to help with, and it's for somebody her age to be setting up these kind of scholarships it's really amazing, and it's a credit to her and her hard work that she's done over the years. So I think it's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of these types of things coming from the streaming community in the future.
Ash, do you have any thoughts on?
No, I mean it's pretty cool.
You should.
Nice. I don't know how far $2,000 goes.
It'll cover things like textbooks and like all that kind of stuff that they need
true.
for, for.
No, I'm thinking like esports person, like, that's just like a new keyboard, new headset, new fancy mouse.
The thing is,
new gaming chair.
I don't think that's what these things are used for.
High speed internet.
But the thing is, generally those, when you've got a scholarship like that, much like if you got a football scholarship, the school would provide a field to play on. They'd supply like uniforms and like helmets and stuff for you to use. I think they do much the same with giving you practice areas and computers.
You make a valid point.
Like, nah, buy all your own shit. Buy your own footballs. Buy your own fucking football ground.
Get out there.
I don't know. Maybe you've got your own custom thing that you want. Is
then
that
if you do, you can have your own keyboard and mouse that you like. If you don't like whatever generic brand they're using at the school, I'm sure you could like that and
Apple
enjoy
keyboards.
that.
It's like basketballs in the shoes,
Exactly. So I think it just enables people to, if especially with you're doing college on the side, you're doing college, and then you're trying to build an esports career at the time, which takes a lot of practice, and that's not just turning up for scrims or team practices. That's also putting in time personally on the game to keep yourself at peak performance and getting better at it. It's a big old time sink, and you're not going to be able to like work a job at the same time. And if you are, you're incredible.
I mean, it's interesting because the time in which you're in college would probably be the prime of your esports career, arguably.
But at the same time,
people retire at like 23.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the thing is,
by the time
currently esports is
they need an oldies league.
It is the age of esports players is growing currently, so it is getting to that 26, 27. But these scholarships are for those players that maybe aren't amazing they're not at the level to make the top pro league. They're not the top to be, say for Overwatch, for instance, you're not at the top level to play an Overwatch league yet, or you get to the point where you have an option to either trying and keep striving to get into Overwatch league, or continue to follow you and improve yourself in esports, but earn yourself a scholarship in a field that might help you after your career in esports.
I think it's good because at the moment, like years past, basically, especially when I like started watching League heavily, every single person that was like really good at the game and all the like League people I followed the most, every one of them had the same story. Oh, I dropped out of school so I could do this. It was the only way I could make it possible. None of them could do school because they needed to like basically quit school, move to a different country, and then practice 8 hours a day, and they couldn't afford to do all of that plus go to school, and there was no way to make it work. Now, it worked out for them because a lot of these people quit and became really good and now have like lots of money, sure. But for the people it doesn't work out, it's like there's no way for this to continue for years to come the way this is working.
You no longer have to, if you're good enough, you no longer have to take a really big risk to achieve what you're after. There is ways to achieve your goals, but at the same time, giving yourself some security for the future at the same time.
No, I'd just be curious to see how many people have gone through the college system.
Nobody yet. Because the college systems, no, but that's just because of how much we're in the infancy of esports at the moment, and how we have, you could put, for instance, there are, say, once again for Overwatch League, because it's the biggest esport I've been involved with the community of, the Overwatch League teams, some of them do have their own academy teams, which is like their under tier side, and Overwatch League has you have to be 18 minimum before you can join the Overwatch League. So for those players who are younger than that, they have these academy teams that support them and help them and do stuff with schools and stuff like that. A couple of them are directly involved with universities now to help people, progress and give themselves that option. It's just, we're entering a world where esports is legitimizing itself a lot more than it used to be, where players are now getting salaries, where they're getting guaranteed money. They're not just playing in the hopes of getting winnings from tournaments. They're getting proper security for themselves. There is ways to make sure that organizers don't dip out on them when it comes to paying them their winnings. I think overall it's just becoming a lot more legitimate event, esports, if you will, sport, even in many ways.
If you will, sport.
And I think, even for you, Ashley, at the ripe old age of 56, you have the opportunity to strive for that Apex Pro. You can strive to become an Apex Pro. You've just
I
platinum
can be a
the
really,
game.
really good carry.
Yeah?
You could
Be carried by others.
or like a really good anchor for the team, like a really good, just keeping them solidly at the bottom of their leagues. Just
get them corruption stuff in. Just tank it.
just tank it.
Wow. Talking about sports. Kotaku writes, Mario fans are convinced the iconic plumber is dead. This is a meme I want to get in on. So Mario and Sonic have teamed up for the Olympic Games nearly every year since 2008, but all good things must come to an end. Mario has seemingly been chopped off from the franchise's latest game, leaving Sonic to take the reins. While Sonic and Mario technically appeared together in 2009's multi-platform Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, this year's tie-in mobile app, Sonic at the Olympic Games, has left the titular Palmer by the wayside. The reasons for the sudden divorce is unclear, but it does add another sad loss to Mario's Olympic record. In 2017, he failed to make the shortlist for Tokyo 2020 Olympic mascots. Now he's been cut from his own franchise. The app features many of the same events as the mainline console titles, including hurdles, badminton, fencing, and long jump, alongside new story mode. But no Mario. The split is not going down well online, and reactions are spiraling. And then it has this amazing list of tweets from the internet. Are Mario and Sonic still friends? Breaking news, Mario was found dead in Miami. He died as he lived. Yahooing, wahooing, and whippying.
That was great.
Team Mario has been positively tested for abusing shrooms. Mario is currently being held in prison for the war crimes he committed in Bosnia and Iraq and will be judged tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell.
So this is quite funny. I mean, there's not much in news story. I just thought it was 100% worth mentioning because it makes me laugh every time I see it.
I think it's pretty clear what's happening here. This is a free-to-play game. Mario is behind a paywall.
Now, Mario's in free-to-play games.
You
Mario
unlock...
Run, Mario Kart.
You unlock Mario. You have to pay a fee and then you unlock Mario.
Yeah, but
it's as simple as that.
Still, what you got to remember is, who are you going to lock behind a paywall in a Sonic game? Fucking Tails? No. The Edgelord Shadow? No. Like, there's
Knuckles?
nobody that people are going to pay money for to see.
Knuckles? What's the girl one? The girlfriend? What are her name?
Amy? Isn't it?
Yeah, Amy.
Yeah, it's Amy.
Yeah.
No, but what you got to think about is you got to feel bad for Mario because he's been doing all this training in Mario Run for the 100-meter dash because that's the one Sonic always wins. He's been training so hard, running, forcing people to pay to make him run. You know, that's got to be some kind of fraudulent scheme there that the Olympic Committee's just gone, no. Just
Glad to see they're finally cutting down on stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I like to think it's solely just because Sonic's over here with his movie doing $1 billion and they're like, you know what, Mario? Fuck out of my game. Where's your movie, son? Where's your movie?
I don't know. It could be that. It could be Nintendo just like playing coy with their like properties and not wanting to put like a bunch of Mario stuff on mobile.
They do already have Mario Run and Mario Kart.
Mario Kart and
Dr.
Mario. Yeah.
So. I'm sure there's something else we're probably missing as well. But it seems to be there was a stage where Nintendo was like, mobile games, get the hell out of here. Nowadays they're like, Mario games, we got 20 of them today. 5
Let's
tomorrow.
announce another one. Fuck it.
Let's do another one.
Let's just keep
By the
going.
way, since just to briefly go here, won't spend much on it because we talk. You should go listen to what you're going to watch to hear more Sonic thoughts. But Ash, I haven't actually asked you since you've seen it. Yay, no. What are the Sonic thoughts?
It's fine. It's an enjoyable enough kids film.
Score? If you had to
7 maybe.
You go higher than me. I gave it a 6.
That was the most lukewarm.
Probably like 6.5.
I think you need to go down. You're like, it's fine. 7. Jesus Christ. Kotaku, Jason Schreier's dug up another dead Star Wars game. So says last spring, Electronic Arts cancelled a planned spin-off of its popular Star Wars Battlefront series, the third Star Wars game that was published. The publisher's act since 2017. The latest game, codenamed Viking, was originally envisioned for the release in fall 2020 alongside the next generation of consoles, but once it became clear that EA's executive that the timeline was unrealistic, Viking was no more. This account is based on interviews of 6 people familiar with EA's inner workings, all of whom spoke anonymously because they were not authorized to speak to a report about cancelled projects. The backstory of Viking is itself worthy of a Star Wars intro scroll. It started off as a long time ago, 2015, in the galaxy far, far away, San Francisco, at the EA-owned studio Visceral Games, which spent 2 years developing a Star Wars heist game called Ragtag under the well-known director Amy Hennig. In October 2017, EA shut down Visceral and cancelled Ragtag, although it said that Ragtag's assets would be shipped to the Canadian game studio EA Vancouver for a brand new open world Star Wars game. That second game, Orca, was in development all throughout 2018 until it too was cancelled by EA. Kotaku broke news of Orca's cancellation last year. At the time, it reported that EA Vancouver was spinning up a smaller Star Wars project to replace it, one that would be planned for release in fall 2020 alongside next-gen PlayStation and Xbox. Electronic Arts executive liked to call it a financial hole that needed filling. This third game was called Viking, and it was designed as a spin-off of the Star Wars Battlefront series with open world elements. The plan was for EA to bring in yet another studio to help out, Criterion, based in London, England, which was previously best known for racing games like Burnout and Need for Speed, but in recent years expanded to more genres. EA Vancouver spent some time designing ideas and prototypes for Viking, and Criterion came on board soon afterwards. That was when the problem started. Although Criterion was on paper the lead studio, the logistical challenges of cross-country game development made that a difficult proposition. As one person involved with the game said, quote, "Too many cooks" was a running theme. Criterion leads had an ambitious vision for the game, aiming to put a strong focus on story and characters. It soon became clear that Viking would never be finished in just a year and a half, and EA's executives had no interest in extending the timeline. Viking was cancelled in the first half of 2019, although this news has gone unreported until now. That fall 2020 financial hole will go unfulfilled. So this is basically just a continuing story of that Amy Hennig game, where they're like, in case all of that, to boil it down, the short story is Amy Hennig game gets cancelled, assets go to a different studio, game gets cancelled, those assets still get shuffled along, this game gets cancelled. I don't know, they finally got deleted out of the recycling bin at this stage. I don't know. Like, this is like third time handy down they've cancelled another Star Wars game. And the count continues to go up. And I also don't know how much you can pull from the title, because I doubt that was like the official title. And then like Viking, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean for Star Wars? But the thing I find most interesting about this is I'm like, what is a spin-off for a Battlefront game when Battlefront games are primarily always known as multiplayer games, where you just literally grab all of the toys from Star Wars, put them in a sandbox,
it just doesn't have any specific. It doesn't have any specific kind of correlation with what's actually happening in Star Wars. It had its, unless they're talking about, cutting the campaign out of Battlefront and making it its own game from now on. Like, that's whatever that is. But
does that count as a spin-off? That would just be like another Battlefront game, but they just separate them.
It's just, I don't know, Dylan. I'm trying to make
it's just gonna
make sense out of madness.
It's just gonna be the battle part.
Yeah, it's a battle, but no fronts.
Battle part? No fronts?
No fronts,
just backs.
Just backs.
You have to walk backwards.
God damn it! And look, you gotta.
It's in third person. That's how it's different.
That's
do you think
it's in third person too?
Damn it! Do you think at the minute this is all a combination of not just Activision looking at the property, but also pressure from Disney about, hey, you guys need to
do
whatever.
Disney nothing.
No.
Disney nothing to do with Disney at all.
Disney gives zero fucks like what's going on in the game space. That's what we've gathered over the years, especially from interviews with old Uncle Bob.
Well, unless they're doing something terrible, then they'll step in.
But wouldn't Disney care at this point, because we're at such a leaping off point in the Star Wars history for us in our normal, in the real world, where Star Wars is now free of the chains that were the Skywalkers and Jedis, and it seems to be. And now there is more opportunity within that franchise or in that universe to explore.
The reason they don't care is because like the games is such a hands-off thing to them. That's why they sell them obviously to EA. They don't handle any of it in anything they have, and it's because they A, can't, and B, because they don't want to like buy something to do that in-house for them, right? So they give it to EA, they sell them the license, and then while people out here doing fucking gaming podcasts like us and on the internet screaming like EA's ruining Star Wars, we sell the license to Ubisoft, like the big ups in Disney and Lucasfilm hear zero of that, obviously, because their ears aren't to the ground of the games world. And then when they finally hear something about all these games, it's Jedi Fallen Order got great reviews. It was nominated for Game of the Year. It sold a bunch of stuff. Battlefront, although it had a rocky start, which apparently ended with John Boyega contacting people and like helping get some of that fixed. So the story goes. But then like years later, they're like, Battlefront 2, everyone loves it now. It's made a shit ton of money for them. Lucasfilm and Disney go, what's everyone complaining about? Like, like all this stuff appears good to us. They don't care.
In terms of the overall Star Wars, I guess not directly in the game, but now in the Star Wars quote-unquote narratives where everything Star Wars seems to be canon, isn't there some involvement from LucasArts and Disney? Lucasfilm.
The story group has involvement for stuff, and that's being covered when it comes to like Jedi Fallen Order. Gee, I meant to blank on the game again. When it comes to that, like that's the story. Like they come in, they're like, hey, we want to do this game, this game. The Lucasfilm story group's like, you can do that, but you would have to change it to this. You know, like everything has to, they do that. That's their job. But other than that, in my opinion, Lucasfilm, when it comes to like in general telling Star Wars stories, it's like games is the bottom of the list for like where they're going to tell Star Wars stories. As much as people like to believe other things, it's still going to be like movies, books, games, comics, games. You know, like
that's fair.
That's just how I think they look at it, because that's history. Star Wars stories have ever since day dot been like movies and then books. The books have been around as long as the fucking movies, really. Like books been coming out the ass of the Star Wars franchise. So for the games to suddenly overtake that and be more important, like story wise, I don't think it's going to happen today or ever, really. Yeah, I could see potentially, if like a Lucasfilm / Disney, whoever stabilizes with what they're doing with Star Wars to a point where they're like, I could see maybe 10 years from now, like it'll have to be ages away. Maybe one day they buy a studio and bring stuff back in house to like start handling it all from inside. But that's when you'll know they're suddenly caring more about the games. But as long as EA has a license, it's still to them just like, whatever. Just do the thing. Ash, have any thoughts on this?
Do you think, we're like 7 years into this 10-year license deal?
Yeah.
Do you think EA is like...
Yes, because of Fallen Order. Will they extend it? Yes.
No, but has it been good for EA? Like, they've obviously spent most of the money they've made probably in development of the initial games. Then you've got this project that's been going on for probably the entire 7 years. That's been passed from studio to studio they've been paying for and not getting any revenue from. Are they in the green? Like,
I don't know. Like, I'd like to think back in the day when they launched Battlefront 2, I think they were purposely trying to like cover the losses somewhat with all the microtransaction stuff a bit, obviously. But Battlefront, I would still say Battlefront's made a bit of money because it still does have obviously microtransaction stuff in it, just not like in your face as it was at launch.
There's still some kind of
they got mobile games as well.
There's still some like blind value in the Star Wars franchise that just kind of comes with releasing a Star Wars game. You're going to have that sect of people that are just going to buy the game no matter what you release. Even if they whinge about it afterwards, they've still bought the game. Like you've got their money. Yeah, exactly, like Dylan. Yeah. I wasn't going to call you out directly, but because you've done it yourself.
Yeah, I brought Fallen Order and then I complained about it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like they'll buy the game no matter what and then complain about it afterwards. But all EA's like is, cool, you paid for the game. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, moving on. I was trying to bring this one up because I thought I wrote it in the show notes as a Nick story, and 100% is, but I also felt it was quite interesting. So Microsoft Flight Simulator will include all airports on Earth, writes IGN, which is a headline I read and went, yeah, right the fuck oh. But apparently it's true. 2020's Microsoft Flight Simulator will include all airports on Earth ranging from countryside airstrips into international airports, according to developer Azobo Studio. A total number of airports was not disclosed, although according to the CIA, as of 2013, there were over 40,000 airports in the world. As detailed on YouTube, the studio manually edited 37,000 of those airports to ensure accuracy, from the size and the surface material of the runway to the precise location of the plane's parking spots. Not all airports have been given the same amount of attention to detail. The 80 most played and busiest airports are more detailed, according to the developer. These airports feature official names for taxiways and more accurate surface definition. Blah, 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 blah. I've said it before. I know obviously Nick's the flight simulator guy, but I do want to play this game because if there's like an easy mode, and by easy mode I mean like a more like I don't
press one button and the engine starts. I press another button and I start takeoff. I press another button and the wheels go up, and that's all I have to do.
If there's something like that, I'm 100% down for this game, and I legit really want to play it because every time I've seen it, it looks beautiful, right? The graphics on this thing look great. And also, if I can like fly to my home, like my airport, and then like go to Melbourne or something, like if I would find that fun as fuck.
Bullshit.
I would find that fun as fuck.
I call that bullshit until the day I see somebody land in Shepparton Airport in that game. Like
that's the test.
All right, we'll put
like that's the test.
Shut up,
like
Nick,
if you have to take a video of flying in and landing at Shepparton Airport.
I didn't know Shepparton had an airport.
It does have a fucking airport. It is tiny, and like it depends. I'm interested to know what their definition of airport is. If it's like
airfields.
If it's airfields, or if we're like for Shepparton's case, a single runway where it accepts light aircraft. That's just pretty much right next to the city, like right next to the town. I'd be interested.
If there isn't one there, I'm going to make one. You know what I'm saying?
If there isn't one there, I'm going to be like, you lied.
I'm going to land on your house.
You're going to land on my house. Just
well, in this article, I mean, it's got like a grass airstrip, so anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Don't.
I mean, I'm keen. I'm really keen. But the only thing that annoys me about this game is just all the. Obviously, because it's a simulator game, it wants to be hardcore. But I'm like, I just want to play it as like a relaxing thing.
Why don't you ask?
But is it going to be real time as well? Are you going to have to fly like an hour?
That would be relaxing, though. I think.
Would it?
I honestly feel like I could put like headphone. I could put a podcast on, and fly from destination to destination and find that relaxing in this. Because people do that with train simulators and stuff, which has never grabbed me, like those sorts of ones. But if I could do this...
That one makes even less sense.
Because it's just
is the fun in these games the taking off and touching down?
There's stuff like... So recently I watched a couple hours of...
Farming Simulator?
No, I watched a couple hours of Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah, that's another one.
The Australian streamer Laserbeam... YouTuber, but he started to stream, did like a charity event where they drove all the way around the world in this game for like 8 or 9 hours or whatever. And I was like, it's actually pretty interesting to, drive around these roads
But at least you're driving along a road. In a plane, you've got nothing to avoid or anything,
Other planes, motherfucker!
You could do barrel rolls. You could like up and down. You could like see how close you could get to the water if you're bored. Real life pilots do that, right?
When's this out? I don't even know.
What would it be? I would find more interesting would be if they released a co-op mode where I could be Nick's co-pilot.
No,
if I could be like I could just chill out next to Nick, and Nick does all like the serious stuff, and then every now and then Nick's like, "I'll chuck you over the controls," and just like
you as a fucking co-pilot.
Yeah. I would happily co-pilot for Nick, and Nick would enjoy it,
No,
we could have like a barbecuing section in the cockpit where Nick can go barbecue us up some like ribs or something, and it'll be great.
It says it doesn't have a release date yet. It says it's a next gen game though, so I guess that means it's going to come to like Xbox Series X and whatever. I'm keen though. I'm honestly keen. and I look forward to reporting back that I've landed safely in Shepparton Airport after a 2-hour flight.
If I get this video, I'm gonna be like, I'll be, you know what? I will, no, actually, I'll make it, I'm gonna publicly announce this now. If Dylan buys the game and flies and there's a video of him, okay, what I was about to say
let's be
is
real. Let's be real.
It's gonna, okay, if it's on Game Pass,
Microsoft Flight Simulator, is it on Game Pass?
I'll give him back the money that he spent on Game Pass for that month. I'll refund him for it.
I'm going to tweet at the developers. Can you make sure you put Shepparton? Watch me tweet that right after I'm done recording.
Media connections, just make
Can
sure.
I interview the development team? What about? I just got some questions. Question number 1: is Shepparton, Melbourne,
is there an airport?
Where is Shepparton?
Near Melbourne, just upwards, Victoria, Australia. Yes, honestly, the only thing that's going to turn me off playing that game is if it's it is just too complicated, and I'm like, I can't.
It's going to be too complicated.
I can't imagine it being too complicated.
It's going to be too complicated. What do you mean?
You just got to get up in the air and then you steer for it.
No, you're right. It's going to be ridiculous complicated. Nick's going to be sitting there with his fucking Stream Deck XL
he literally
that he's
just
got now
bought,
for flight sims.
Like, he spent a couple $100 on an extra large Stream Deck for the sake of having the various buttons for flight control. And you're trying to tell us that it isn't going to be that complicated.
Simple. That's because it's playing those freaking war-playing games.
Your hot
that
takes
one,
are becoming worse.
You just need all the different missiles or whatever.
All the different missiles.
He just wakes up these days, Ash does. He gets rolls out of bed to a fucking 8-ball. What shit do I say today? Some hot shit. All right.
I remember seeing the inside of a cockpit of a plane. It's only got like 2 buttons in it, like go and fly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they work on a playground for
Raider or whatever it's called, you know? There's the barrel roll button.
There's a barrel roll button.
if Nick ever listened to this shit, he would be offended by it. Literally everything coming out of your mouth, I feel. All right, moving on before I give Nick a heart attack. So Hollywood Reporter writes, that's right, Hollywood Reporter. Activision demands Reddit identify Call of Duty leaker. The video game publisher has invoked the Digital Millennium Copyright Act against the tech giant to give up the identity of a user who posted information about an upcoming game release. Now, everyone strap in, because this is, as far as I'm concerned, confirming some stuff. Activision. By the way, I just want to, I got to pause for a second. So the ad right next to this, as I'm reading it, is do this to clean earwax. And it's got someone like dragging earwax out of a ear. Why the fuck is that an ad? And why is it on my computer? Because I can guarantee something that I have not Googled is, how do I clean earwax? Like, that's not in, like, what have I done to deserve this distracting fucking ad? Anyway, why is this why ads are bad? So, blah, 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 saying, quote, Reddit is the service provider to which the subject of the subpoena, I can never say that word, subpoena? That's it. Reddit user Azerian 2410 posted infringing Activision content. The filing submitted February 14th in California's North District Court reads, the content infringes Activision's exclusive right under the copyright law, specifically infringes Activision's right in its popular video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The filing includes a link to the offending post made in Modern Warfare's subreddit, which had a title of, I found this image online, not sure what it is, that has since been taken down. The DMCA originated in 1998, which protects internet companies, blah, 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 blah. Activision is seeking that Reddit provide the information for the user who leaked its content, and Assyrian 2410 to seek legal action against the individual. So the post they're talking about is literally one where this dude's posted the image. He found, quote unquote, found the image of Call of Duty's the apparent Battle Royale mode, and he posted on Reddit, the one that everyone was like, is this real? It looks real. Like, we're not sure, blah, 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 blah. And now that's been taken down. I also love how it was just posted, I found this image, I'm not sure what it is. But it's also quite interesting, like, if he, like, this is, because obviously we talked about the Nintendo thing, and that was, like, pretty cut and dry. For this, I'm like, like, if he got the game on his PC, and he's exploring the files, and he finds it, I mean, in my mind, is that, I mean, like, if you just manage to find something by exploring a game. It depends
on how he found it.
Yeah, it does depend, but I guess that's the important thing. That's the information we don't have. Yeah.
If it's been taken off of private data that
If
Yeah.
it's been done
Activision
illegally,
if it's been done illegally, then 100% go for it. If it's somebody who's, taken it and signed an NDA and then broken the NDA or whatever, cool.
But if he just found it because they were dumb enough to leave unencrypted something
Then
in the
it's
game
their
files,
fault.
accidentally airdropped it onto somebody's
Because
phone.
because it is files that he has paid for.
yeah, exactly. So
access.
I'm like, that's the important thing here that I guess we don't know. And you wouldn't think that a company would like Activision would be dumb enough to let something like that happen, but
I don't think you would go to the cease and desist stage if
it was that,
the
I
case.
guess, yeah, that's true. But also the other thing that I found quite interesting about this is, of course, it's like it's legit just like confirming to the world, I guess, that the Battle Royale mode was real. Because for a while there, I've believed that the Battle Royale was coming simply because there's been too many rumors for what it is. But it's always like which one of these rumors is true, blah 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 blah. So now it's like, well, I guess it's coming soon since they're like wanting to shut down potentially like alpha version images and not have like bad press like images of the game mode out there or something. So that's the other thing this says to me. It's like, oh hey, just so you know, we're probably going to announce that the Battle Royale mode soon, or whatever it's supposed to be called. It's supposed to be called like Warzone or something like that, I think. Like War something or rather. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm looking forward to finding out more, I guess, about the mode. Hopefully, the other rumor that went around this week was that it was going to be free as well. That's another important thing. There was
Which would be a good decision for them.
That would be huge. Like,
If I think it would make them serious competition for Fortnite and Apex.
Yeah, it has to be
Like-
free. It's like, what's the point, really?
Yeah, if it's not free, then you're like, oh, okay, you guys are just adding this as an additional thing to your.
Oh yeah, let's add a
game.
Battle Royale mode to Modern Warfare a couple months, well, like 6 months out from another Call of Duty. Like, why? What's the fucking point for that? You know? Like, fuck off.
yeah, you'd be better off just making it a standalone game.
Yeah, it either put it out separate and charge $20 for it, or some shit if you have to charge for it. It better be small, or ultimately, if you want to be successful, just put it out for free. It better not be part of actually, like, you got to put Modern Warfare in, because I'll be like, I have to buy the game again. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It makes way more sense for them to drop it as a separate thing, have a battle pass where you get cool skins or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, let people have at it, and that has a much longer life.
Yeah, and that means every time a new Call of Duty game's out, they could literally do like a pack or
Event
like
or
a
something.
event that's tied into the characters and world of that
Hey,
game. And
if you install the game, then you get unlock whatever.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I hope that's true. Anyway, we'll find out more soon, I presume. So next one, we'll go over this quickly because I think I'm the only person that cares. But everything we just learned from Animal Crossing New Horizons, writes Kotaku. Today's Nintendo Direct delivered a wealth of new information at Nooks Inc.'s Deserted Island Getaway Package. Here's what we learned about the new island life. So Desert Island Lifetime is different from Cozy Village Life. Animal Crossing Jesus Christ, what a mouthful. New Horizons Island is a wild, untamed place filled with danger. Of course, it's Animal Crossing danger, which is never all that dangerous. Is it a ghost? Did someone die? So you got nighttime in the game. Players need to go into the place at dark. You can have up to, what's the correct wording for this? 7 other people play with you, so you can have up to 8. You're going to have the stupid mobile app that you can play with on the thing. And then the one that made everyone who was like watching on Twitch or whatever doing the live streams kind of lose their mind over it is you're going to have terraforming in the game, which I was like, so here's the thing. I stayed up to watch this. This was at 1 o'clock in the morning. Because ever since they revealed this, I'm like, yes, I'm going to be playing my first Animal Crossing game finally, because for a lot of games, I'm willing to try them all finally because I like the Switch. Whereas comparatively in the past, I've been like, I don't really want to play. Like I never, one would come out for 3DS or DS, whatever it was last. I'm like, nah, I can't be bothered. So I'll try this. So the game is
Also content,
yeah. The game is like #cuties confirmed, 100%. Love everything I see about it. But I'm also highly intrigued by this new terraforming stuff because it means I'll actually get into that. Because any sort of game that I can like kind of nip back and not just be stuck with like, oh, here's how your island looks. Like you can control like where you can cut down trees, you can fucking put houses here, whatever. But knowing that I could literally shape, like cut out a bunch of stuff, build a bridge there, put a waterfall down here if I want to, like build paths, that makes it way more zen to me. Because I could zone out doing that shit for like easily a couple hours and lose time. Easily zone out doing that. And I'm going to have a lot of fun doing that. But overall, I really enjoyed watching what it was. It was like 20-something minutes. Yeah, I think it was like 20-something minutes this direct was, which you're like, holy shit, that's a lot for Animal Crossing. Really, could they have that much to show? And the answer was yes, because they were like, here's Tom Nook being a bastard. Here's some other cutie characters. Here's some fishing. Here's some ghosts. Get wild. Got a museum coming, aquarium coming.
To take the hot take, to take the hot take side of things and Crown and to pretend to be Ashley Hobley for a second, I think Tom Nook has taught many kids the valuable life lessons of mortgaging and home ownership and what land ownership really means in the world, Like, there's always some, rapscallion little bugger that's gonna, like, take you for all you got.
There's literally a part in the fucking direct where he's like, they're showing like, oh, you could like always like invest more to get a bigger house. And it's like Tom Nook being like, hey, for a low price of like $64,000.
He's such a jerk.
Fuck this guy.
That's a reasonable price for a house extension.
Of course.
Not on a getaway
Is it not?
uninhabited island.
How much other stuff in the game?
I mean, I don't know.
Depends how hard it is to get 64,000 coins.
The other thing I want to say, the amount of clothes in this game is seemingly ridiculous. Like, they kept bringing up like the stuff you could buy. Like, it seems there's an infinite amount of clothing and accessories that you could put on your character.
There is, because you can design your own clothes and put them into the game.
That is also a thing. You can design your own designs for mugs even and put them in the game. So that was high intent. Go hard.
I mean, you have to have a new Leaf, but other than that,
that's fine. For people that
you
want
to whip out that 3DS.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I did. They've got some tie-in thing for the mobile thing as well, Pocket Camp. So I installed Pocket Camp the other day. I've been messing around with that. I haven't played it much though. I played like half an hour or so. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's too. It's one of those games that I would play more of if it didn't annoy me so much that I could tell that it wants my money at all stages. Like that's one good thing about like Pokemon Go is that it until you get to certain things, it isn't constantly like, do you want to spend money? Do you want to spend money? Do you want to spend money? Like you could just play it and it'll never like kind of get to that stage. I played Animal Crossing for like 10 minutes. It's like, hey, do you want to spend like $20 to get this? I'm like, no. And then like I played for like another 5 minutes. Like, hey, do you want to spend like $15 for this Valentine's Day event thing? I'm like, no, like get the fuck out of my life. Why am I having to fucking, I just installed this fucking game. Why are you trying to get like $50 out of me already? Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's Animal Crossing. Let's have some fun with that. And then also just want to go over this because this is crazy Nintendo bullshit. GamesIndustry.Biz writes, Animal Crossing New Horizons lost save files can only be recovered once. Even though Nintendo Switch Online allows cloud save backup for many major Nintendo first-party titles, Animal Crossing New Horizons won't be one of them, except in a very specific circumstances. During today's Animal Crossing focused Nintendo Direct, a FAQ at the end announced that cloud saves would not be available for the game right at launch, but would be added sometime afterwards for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers only. Additionally, these saves are not able to be accessed at any time, such as a situation where someone wants to move a saved game from one Nintendo Switch to a newly purchased one. Rather, according to some fine print in the presentation, these saves are only available to be used in the case of a lost or damaged Nintendo Switch system, and then can only be used one time. If a system is lost or damaged more than once, a user may not be able to move their save file a second time and may lose all their progress.
Those fucking this is the hill that I will forever die on. Is why does both Nintendo and Sony just fucking suck when it comes to cloud saves? Like absolutely.
What's wrong with
I fucking
Sony's?
hate Sony. Sony's actually shits me.
What? It just uploads it. You download it.
No, but you have to manually upload it. You have to do it yourself.
No, there's settings to let you upload.
Where? Why isn't that just basically natively turned on as soon as you buy Plus?
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It isn't though. Why? It
I
doesn't
think you're
seem to
wrong.
be.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, mine
Listen,
doesn't.
we are two PlayStation experts. You're wrong.
Yeah, I just.
You want to
I
argue
just,
with the host of
I'd
number one
like to
PlayStation
say,
podcast in the Oceanias about
Hey, I'd like to
cloud
say,
saves?
I hate that the cloud saves is a premium feature for both their consoles. I think it's like, why isn't this just native now? What the fuck?
Because clouds cost money.
Yeah.
Clouds don't grow on trees, Kieran.
No. They're growing clouds.
I hate you both. You both suck. It's just not as simple as fucking Xbox. That's all I'm gonna say. Xbox has.
I don't know where the fuck my cloud saves are
Microsoft
on
had
Xbox.
servers coming out of their butt. They can afford.
If I just turn on another console and start the game up with my game,
there's so few Xbox games being uploaded.
Fuck off!
They've got so much.
Fuck off!
space.
Actually, Xbox is like, I'll just grab your save game for you. Be right back. If I go to turn on a PlayStation, it's like, no, you got to go download your save. Go into your.
Oh,
go
so
manually
your
do it.
complaint is that if you have a second PlayStation, that it won't just automatically realize.
No, but say for instance, I the other day had to house sit for my parents for the night and look after their dogs and
You got some
stuff.
first world problems happening over here.
I do,
Yeah.
and it's fucking annoying. It's just like, why isn't this just built in? Why isn't this just a thing where it's like,
What if you don't want it? It's
start up
it's
a game
safer because then
and
what
it
if you
just
don't want to
loads my save
override?
to-
You fucking your dad comes home. He's like, "Why is my fucking save?"
But it's on my profile. It's not on his profile. It's mine.
Is your profile password protected?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not the same password as your dad?
Yes.
You both have the password. Man in the house.
Fucking, what the fuck? I hate you both. Fucking just carry on. Fucking. I hope Tom Nook takes you for everything you're worth.
I love how that one worked for Ash so bad. All right, for the main topic, let's talk about the Gearbox Eli Roth / Borderlands news that was announced this week, since it's a bit weird and I want to know how everyone thinks this will work. So, Jules Shockers writes, Gearbox announces Eli Roth to direct Borderlands movie. The insane upside-down world of Pandora is heading to the big screen with a Borderlands movie to be helmed by hostile director Eli Roth. In case you're like me and didn't know there was a Borderlands movie coming soon, good news, there's a Borderlands movie coming soon. Although, good news, it already has a director, unlike the Uncharted movie, which is slated to begin filming soon, sans an official director. Eli Roth, the director and producer behind Hostel, Knock Knock, The Green Inferno, and more, is helming the project. The announcement was made prematurely by Randy Pitchford via a tweet on his account. Here's what Roth had to say about the role in directing the movie. Saying, quote, I'm so excited to dive into the world of Borderlands and I could not be doing it with a better script, producing team and studio. I have a long successful history with Lionsgate. I feel like we've grown up together and everything in my directing career has led to this project of this scale and ambition. I look forward to bringing my own energy, ideas and vision to the wild, fun and endlessly creative world of the game. Randy Pitchford and everyone at Gearbox has been incredibly supportive of my ideas and it really feels like a perfect storm of creators coming together. We're out to make a new classic, one of which the fans of the games will love, but also ones which will find new audiences globally. The movie already has a standout cast and creative team working behind the scenes. Craig Mazin, creator and writer of HBO's Chernobyl series, is writing the movie's script, and Randy Pitchford is an executive producer. The feature is being produced through Lionsgate, and filming is set to begin sometime this year. So
shout out to this article writer who writes a standout cast and then lists no cast.
Standout cast of no people. That's the ultimate cast of
no people, yeah.
People.
But is this just set up so Randy Pitchford could yell at like the Oscars and stuff when they don't get nominated?
They don't get best picture.
You fucked me.
Why you guys could fuck me on this is beyond me.
Yeah.
I want to boil this down to like a couple elements because I feel like there's a lot here. Because I don't think any of us knew that a Borderlands movie was a thing that
I didn't know it was a thing.
was happening. So
What? It's been a thing since they've been working on it slowly since 2015. So
just because you hear about a video game movie doesn't mean shit. They're always talking about it.
there was talk about Chris Mackay from the Lego Batman movie or the Lego movie directing at one point. I can't remember who I read just before. There were a bunch of writers attached. Aaron Berg, I think, at one point. So it's been in the works for a long time. Again, it's a video game movie, so It's one of those things that takes forever to get made.
If it gets made.
It's going to be an easy instant classic for critics and for fans because they've already got the stellar lead character. We all know who the lead's going to be. It's going to be Claptrap.
Oh.
It's going to be based on Claptrap's poor existence. He's charismatic. He's ideal. Like he's got the best physique in the business. Like you've just got to be impressed with him. Like,
I hate to be to let you down, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, maybe the movie is narrated by Claptrap.
Possibly that would be a fun
No. If it's going to be a Borderlands game, there's only one person. Borderlands movie. There's only one person who narrates it, and that's Marcus, the slightly questionable gun dealer, because he always narrates it in every game. So
this is true.
Sorry, Claptrap.
Vault Hunters.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's gonna, he's all about that life. So, I think it's fairly simple to make this. Like you don't have to do anything from any of the games as long as it's the setting of Pandora. As long as you mention things like Hyperion and maybe Handsome Jack if it post dates the audit of the games. Like you can drop it wherever you like and start making characters out of it.
But this is gonna be one of my questions because. So everyone kind of assumes that it'll be like based on the games and like potentially could tell the story of like Handsome Jack and stuff like that. However, I'd like to chuck out the idea of we're in 2020 and everyone loves tied in connected universes, and Assassin's Creed movie already tried to do that where Ubisoft was like, this isn't based on any of the games. In fact, the Assassin's Creed movie is like just in the same universe, and it's just another Assassin's Creed story. So I'm kind of leaning towards them possibly doing that because
100%. It's just going to be something taking a movie that takes place within the Borderlands universe. It'll be on Pandora. There will be a vault. The main characters will be vault hunters. You will have some kind of antagonist. Like it's going to be very just fitting into what Borderlands is.
Does this not just turn into Mad Max at some point?
Not really, because I feel like they're going to go. I feel like you go with a more zany humor.
Would that be so bad?
I mean, because it would be a bad version of Mad Max, so yeah, probably.
It'd just be Mad Max with crazy weapons.
And it won't be that focused on the driving element or anything like that, because, there's driving in Borderlands, but that's not really the big thing. And psychos.
How does it work though? Because the thing with this is, as much as everyone's like, oh yeah, it makes heaps of sense. Uncharted is a already movie-like game with a lot of story, a lot of characters, a lot of structure. Borderlands is a game which you play with friends and you spend 20 hours fucking farming and opening loot containers and changing guns and stuff. Like, how do you?
But I think
I don't know if you know this, but there's a very good narrative version of Borderlands called Tales from the Borderlands. That shows that you can do a great story within this universe.
Boom.
That's true, but they're just going to rip
that off. So just adapt that.
Okay. I
don't think they adapt that.
Give me Loaderbot.
You can. Well, that is tragic.
And Gortys. Give me Gortys. Live action Gortys.
The thing you've got to do is that with it is
Gortys spin-off.
It can be boiled down. Like if you take
then
the
I can
plot
finally
of
get my
Borderlands
Gortys
2,
merch.
If you break down the plot of Borderlands 2, it's just them adventuring to different worlds, trying to get into vaults for an overall purpose to beat the antagonist.
Yeah, which works for a video game, but
it is Indiana Jones in space.
Yeah, it's like Indiana. Like if you boil it down, it could be very Indiana Jones, but just with these zany characters and these like psychotic enemies and stuff. Like, I don't think it has to be anything special, which is why I think it's going to be bad. But it doesn't have to be anything special. There doesn't have to be anything except for like minor tweaks and throwbacks to what is the games. Other than that, it's completely fine.
Well, let's go over the other like key piece of information here that we haven't really talked about, which is Eli Roth as the director, which the internet's reaction to him as the director was, I would say, overwhelmingly negative from what I saw personally. I am fine with it because he has, I think, with the house with a whatever it was called, Clock on the Walls or whatever.
The house with the clock on the walls, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, he stepped outside his horror
roots,
right? And I haven't seen it yet. I remember watching the trailers and liking the trailers. I never got around to watching it. However, I did read some reviews.
Fine.
You watched it? Yeah. But
yeah,
from the reviews around, it seemed that most people could agree that it's like, although not great, it proves that Eli Roth is able to step outside his horror stuff. And because that movie was basically you can't tell me it's a horror movie.
It's more family-friendly horror.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Like, it's of that genre, but yeah.
Yeah. But that's
it's
fine.
still, the thing is, I think he's going to get the gory aspect of Borderlands correct. It's just how the humor lands is going to be the biggest thing. Because if the humor isn't that kind of over-the-top Borderlands humor that the Borderlands fans have come to love, I don't think it's going to hit well with the
Doesn't that come down more to a script and performance than a directing, though?
Yeah, and he probably isn't writing it, so...
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, you just said he isn't writing it. It's being written by the creator of Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Craig Mazin. Yeah, that is, a mental blank on that. Hey, so that's another... Yeah,
that's pretty big gap.
Eli Roth, I'm happy to put this aside and be like, whatever, prove me wrong. I mean, I like a lot of Eli Roth's horror movies. I think a lot of them are dirt shit. Some of them are quite good. His Cabin Fever remake, which was his first movie, is probably still his best movie, but that was quite good. Craig Mazin, as the writer of this, is pretty massive and can't be understated, because it's like, let's boil Craig Mazin down for people who don't understand. This dude put out the massively critical darling that was Chernobyl last year, the limited run series, which of course me and Nick are massive fans of. And if you listen to What Do You Want to Watch, our movie TV podcast, you would have heard us talk about quite a lot. And it won. Did we give it best TV? Yeah, we gave it
best TV show.
We gave it best. Yeah, it was Explosion Network's best TV show 2019. So he wrote that, all of it, and it is sublime writing. Like, it is pitch perfect, absolutely nothing wrong with it. But he also, before that, and the reason that we were so shocked with how good Chernobyl was good, all he done was comedy movies.
Written Scary Movie 3,
yeah,
Scary Movie 4, Superhero Movie,
yeah,
Hangover Part 2, Identity Thief, Hangover Part 3, and The Huntsman's Winter Wall.
Yeah. So quite weird. Now, the other thing I want to bring into this is that I listened to the official Chernobyl podcast that he did, and then I listened to the follow-up he did to that, which was that he did a Watchmen official podcast where him and Damon Lindelof talked about it. And the dude is intelligent. Like, you can tell he has a love for writing, cinema, and he's quite intelligent and whatever else. And, like, I have a high respect for him these days, because I basically only learned about him last year properly, really. And I'm going to say, Borderlands, after writing Chernobyl, I'm going to hope that he's able to combine everything from that and then bring in, of course, the years of comedy to dribble through that. You know what I mean? I'm hoping it can meld together, because he's got lots of the comedy writing, some good, some terrible. to be fair, a lot of those scripts are like 17 people writing on them also. So you don't know which is like his, is his involvement, which is not. But I'm hoping he can combine Chernobyl, which is this amazing human story, with some of the more comedy aspects and get that. But it is quite interesting. Like, oh, Craig Mazin, what'd you just do? Chernobyl? Love it. Award-winning Chernobyl. What are you doing next? Eli Roth's directing a Borderlands movie I'm writing. Cool. That makes heaps of sense. That's exactly what I would do next. I mean, he might have something else coming out before then. I don't know. But either way, this is quite interesting either way.
Also, on the Eli Roth thing, we've seen a ton of horror directors recently do big like action stuff. So I don't think it's too much of a stretch.
No. It's become a proven thing, really. Doctor Strange was directed by a horror director.
James Wan directed Furious 7.
Yeah. He's a horror director.
Aquaman.
Which Dylan loves Furious 7. It's one of his favorites.
Is it though? I mean, go listen to our Fast and Furious podcast titled "It's About Family," coming out in 3 weeks, I think, something like that. 2.5, 3 weeks. I don't know.
Oh, we better start recording for it then.
Damn right.
We can just record it each week. It's fine.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Got him. Yeah. No, any other last thoughts on this Borderlands movie?
Well, I think it definitely needs to have characters from the games in the movie. Like, even if it's like Mad Moxie or Tiny Tina or some like side characters, like just cameos and that kind of thing. But yeah, And it needs to have claptrap. I mean, if it doesn't have claptrap.
100% has to have
Exactly.
claptrap. And if it doesn't have claptrap, it's like, does it even count as a Borderlands thing?
Voiced by The Rock. That's what the people want.
What? Sorry?
That's what I saw.
No, voiced by Josh Gad.
Well, they're not going to pay the actual guy to do it because he's suing Randy Pitchford. So,
I mean,
that story
maybe
back up.
Lionsgate will pay for him.
Yeah, maybe.
How much is Randy Pitchford going to be involved in this?
I would say
He's
very
executive
little.
producer,
I would say very little, and they're putting. Yeah, he's just getting his name on there, so it's like, oh, there he is. He gets his money. You know, like he's executive producer, but he's gonna have fuck all to do with it.
Wow, Dylan, why you'd fucking be on this is beyond me.
Because if anyone could ruin this project, it's not Eli Roth and it's not Craig Mazin.
It's Randy
It's
Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford. It's the only person who could fuck this up at this stage. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Of course, you can find all of our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. This week's question is going to be, how do you feel about Eli Roth in the Borderlands movie? Upset? Fine? Don't care? Looking forward to it? Let us know. You can tweet it. Jesus Christ, words. You can tweet us your thoughts at the things, or you can email mail@explosionnetwork.com with the subject line Arcade Couch, and we'll see you here next week. Same time, same couch. Bye. It's alright, it's just the final topic, so luckily I can just fade out somewhere here.
Sorry, guys. It looks like I just got a message to come join an Overwatch team again. I'll be. See you later, everyone.
I love how your like protection thing every time is look. Don't laugh at me. I'll go join Overwatch again.
It's like, don't laugh at me or start taking heroin again.
Hey, don't forget you can subscribe to the show wherever you're currently listening, and you can drop a review if you can. Find more great shows like this and more content over at explosionnetwork.com, and please consider supporting us for as little as $1 over on our Ko-fi page by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thanks for listening.